Hey, this is Izzy Dakota Jones here with the Art of Doing podcast, and I'm going to be talking to a friend of mine, Elio Martelli. I went to school with Elio Martelli, I don't know, back in high school. When I first met him, he was playing flute. He went on to bass and guitar, and played with him in a blues project, and he's been playing with people in Vancouver, Doug and the Slugs. He plays with Trauma right now, Tommy Stewart and Donnie Underhill from Trooper. He's been on the Vancouver music scene for a really long time. The Finns. I mean, I can go on and on. Joe Clark 5, which was a band I liked. And, he's always been a really, really good player. He's a really good songwriter. He's got some interesting stories. So we're going to be talking to Elio Martelli. Okay? Just hang in there and we'll be with him in a minute. I'm talking to Elio. El, how are you?
I'm good, thanks.
All right. So we go back a long way. So we go back, I don't know, all the way back to high school at least, right?
Yeah, high school, grade 8.
Grade 8. Holy smoke. Mr. Davitt's playing that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're a singer, and I saw you singing, and I thought, wow, that's cool.
And you were playing flute back then, which I was really into Jethro Tull, right? So
yeah.
And then I remember way back when we had a little blues thing too. We tried to do a little acoustic blues thing way back when too. I remember that.
Just the two of us.
Yeah, just the two of us.
That was a lot of fun, actually.
It was, when you get down to it, it was kind of cool. We were doing things that other people weren't doing. So that sort of sets the tone. And
I like the fact that we played at your mom's bar.
Yeah.
And we were underage, and the bar was right next door to the police station. Yeah, that was really good.
See,
right under their noses.
And I was just telling, like in the pre-interview, I was just saying, Elle and I've got lots of stories.
Oh, yeah.
So, I mentioned some of the bands you've been in over the years and all that kind of stuff. Oh, my other phone's going off. Hang on now.
Okay.
I'm going to shut that down really quick. Okay, that got shut down. Okay, yeah. So, sorry, folks. It's like live almost. So, anyways, some of the bands you started off with, didn't you play with, what was one of the first bands you started playing with as far as writing originals and things? With one band you were with Brian Rask and Brian Turco. Yeah. And I found that band really interesting. The originals were very interesting, right?
Yeah, we were just early in our early songwriting days.
Yeah.
Of course, back then in the late 70s, everybody was into that Zeppelin sound.
Yeah.
And kind of writing sort of prog rock, as it was called, progressive rock.
Yeah.
And so things kind of sounded a little bit like that, mixed with, sort of Styx and Yes and and Beatle-esque type stuff. Right.
And that was, and you opened up once for Saga, if I'm correct, at the Commodore, right?
Yeah, that was a few years later with an original group, and I put together called Colors.
That's right.
With Brian Rask again and Brian Turco on guitar.
Right on.
And the first time I played the Commodore was backing up Saga.
Right on.
Yeah, and it was an exciting night.
I bet it was. I bet that was a good show, too. Yeah, I've heard that was a good show for you guys. So from there, you went on to different bands. I mean, over the years, you played with Doug and the Slugs for a while. You worked with Doug, right?
Yes, I did.
Yeah.
Learned a lot with that band. I ended up starting off on the low end of the totem pole, and then I worked my way up to actually booking the band and being Doug's right-hand man.
I remember that. And I remember you told me about that story about that time in Nelson where you touched the microphone and the guitar at the same time when it was grounded, and boy, did you get zapped, eh?
Oh, well, yeah, that's about a good 5-minute story.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was one of those guys who was lucky enough to get electrocuted on stage. What happened was sometimes we would travel and we would rent our band equipment at the town. I would phone ahead and advance the show and get the hotel rooms and talk to the guys who would be the back line and the PA. Back line is basically drums, bass gear, and guitar gear, and piano gear, and anything the band needs. And the amp I got these guys said it's not grounded. So I always carried a 57 with me because it's got a plastic tip covering the before it hits the metal.
Yeah.
So I can touch my lips on it. With a 58, you couldn't do that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So the very end of the show, I was always, don't touch the side of the mic or with my left hand on the strings of the guitar. Anyways, at the end of the show, very end of the show, Doug's doing his rap. And as we're playing, the stage bounces a little bit, and I had a stand and it kind of quavered to the left a little bit. So I went to go, just a muscle reaction. I went to adjust the stand, and as my hand was going, I said, "No, don't do that." My mind was like, "Don't do that." So,
No.
boom! I got electrocuted from my right hand all across my right arm, across my chest, my left hand, and then I just heard this a really loud sound in my head as electricity was going through me.
Yeah.
And that lasted about 7 seconds, and I found myself on the other side of the stage by the keyboards, and I knocked the keyboards down because I guess I was in electronic state. I guess.
Yeah.
I don't remember, but it just kind of happened. And the keyboard player, as he was saving me from falling down, he said my body he got electrocuted through it too.
Wow.
Then my hand left the mic.
Yeah.
The cord or whatever was so long.
Yeah.
And the crowd kind of thought it was part of the show or something. And then and Doug was still talking. He didn't know what was going on. Right?
Oh, Jesus.
So I'm in the back and I'm on the ground and I'm like, what the hell? And I remember this group of kids up front. They were like, wow, man, that was really cool. But then they kind of got serious. Hey, buddy, are you okay? And I sort of stumbled to my side and I sat down on my side of the stage just trying to, get myself together.
Yeah.
And they're like, hey, buddy, are you all right? Are you okay? And I was like, yeah, I'm okay. And then they started cheering, yeah! We just saw somebody get electrocuted, yay!
Oh, Jesus.
Right on stage.
Unreal.
From then on, I was called Electrio for a while.
Yeah. So when you were working with Doug, did you write any material with Doug?
Yes, I ended up writing a song, River of Dreams, a number of songs. I had a bunch of ideas I took to him.
Right on.
And he would listen to it and go, no, this one's I can put over here. I can work with this one. No, yeah, this one's all right. No, okay, this one.
Yeah.
Because Doug put together something out after the Slugs, and it wasn't like party power rock. It was kind of more of a kind of adult pop.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, and that was interesting, and it was really good to work with him. Boy, did I ever learn a lot about songwriting with him.
I bet you did, yeah. Because he had his own publishing company too, right? So, yeah, I remember that. I knew he was right into that because I knew a couple of people had also recorded with him too, right? And they were saying, he was right into that. He was a really good songwriter, actually. Very good songwriter. Yeah, and
he told me never marry any idea of yours. Like just because your idea doesn't get used, you don't pout. You don't get, like back in the old days. Oh man, that was my idea.
Yeah.
But it's like, hey, what's ever best for the song, right?
Yeah, that's the way to do it. I mean, I do that. I do that with some of my people in my band, right? Sometimes I have to had to over the year, especially in the last couple of years, I had to do that with a couple of people, right? Because they just weren't.
And you have to remind them, like, don't get disappointed because your idea on this song. But maybe the next song we'll use your idea, and it might be the good one. Could end up being the hook. So it's called give and take, right?
Yeah, it's called give and take, especially when you're working with a producer and engineer, which if you're doing things right, you should. I mean, I know there's people that do that. I mean, like I've had people like I can mention his name, like a guy that we both know, Johnny DeMarco. Like Johnny told me once, he says, I couldn't do what you do. I couldn't work with a producer and give it all up, right? And I said, he says, I produce, but I said, you work with an engineer, right? He says, yeah, working with a guy at Brian Adams' studio. I says, well, he's basically producing. I says, he's basically making sure the mix and the sounds are all there, right? I says, and you're bringing in your ideas over top of it. But I says, the thing is, I says, sometimes you got to learn to give it up, man. I says, you just got to. You got to let somebody else get some ideas, right?
That's right, and a person, that producer, he sees things in a whole different light than the way you see things, and there's a reason why he makes those decisions.
Yeah, exactly, and some people just, some people can't let go of that, and like I said once to one of the girls in my band, I was saying to her once, I said, she goes, well, I have a hard time with that. And I said to her, well, I says, I says, look at it this way. I says, Anne Murray, she wrote tons of songs for other people and that were hits. And I said, so when she signed her deal in Canada with a U.S. label, I said, she kept she kept all her ideas to herself, right? She produced all her own stuff with another engineer producer. But I says the reason why she got to do that is because she was that good before.
Yeah. And
she has a track record, right?
That's right. Yeah, she cut her teeth doing it, and she's knew and understood the whole process.
Yeah. Because, I told her, because I said to the girl in my band, I says, look, the Beatles never did that. The Beatles, and neither did the Rolling Stones, some of the biggest rock bands in the world. I said, they didn't get to make those decisions. The producer and the engineer did, right? They may come in with some ideas, and if they're good, like you're saying, and the producer goes, oh, I like that, let's do it, then it gets used, right?
That's right. That's right. Yeah, George Martin from the Beatles taught the Beatles so much. Backup harmonies and song arrangements and the interview with Ringo, he was saying, George Martin, he was God. Whatever he said, we did.
Yeah, that makes total sense. Sense. So after you worked with Doug, I a band I really liked that you had. I really liked the Joe Clark Five. That was one of my favorite bands.
Yeah, we were a '60s pop band.
I really liked it, though. It was a really good band.
Yeah, well, that was Bud Marr.
Yeah, it was you and Bud, yeah.
And Bud Marr was the original bass player from Sweeney Todd.
That's right.
And he had another great guitar player, Ivan Zenovich.
That's right. I remember that guy, yeah. I remember Ivan.
And I really learned, Bud Marr really taught me a lot in that band about just playing in a band, because I was so energetic and I was bouncing off the walls, and he'd say, buddy, calm down. Relax, like just play the groove, and you can't be on top all the time.
Yeah.
And he just taught me all the give and take about music.
Yeah, well, that's interesting. It's interesting what you learn when you're playing with these people, right? And you learn different things. Like I did that with the producer I worked with Bill. Like when we went and do a song with the Saints, I would he's saying you sing in the song little white bread sort of thing. He says I'm gonna show you how Mick Jagger sings it like a black guy, right? And I thought, yeah, he does sound like a black guy. All these years I never, how stupid am I to think like that? And then he would take the song and he would take my lyrics, not my lyrics, but take my voice and he'd shave off make the note a little flat and not so much like normal, He says, so he drops the note here like this, and he drops this note here, and he actually showed me, how he would sing it. And I went, oh, I never thought. So he says, now go back in the studio, go back into the booth and sing it like that, right? And then I would go, wow, okay,
Yeah, you can learn a lot off these producers.
Yeah.
The young musicians, you got to be an open book. You just can't walk in going, I want everything my way, my way, my way.
Yeah.
Yeah, you do that after 20 years in the business.
Yeah, exactly.
Once you learn why these guys are doing it.
Yeah.
The way.
Yeah, it's true. So after and then you also, I never caught the Finns, but the Finns were good.
Yeah, the Finns was a great band. I was with them a good 8 years or so, and we backed up a lot of good bands in the Commodore.
Right on.
And we happen to know Drew Burns.
Yeah.
He was the Commodore owner, and we backed up Johnny Winter, John Lee Hooker.
Wow.
The Allman Brothers.
Ooh, that must have been a good show. Fuck.
Yeah. So it was great, doing that and getting all that live exposure.
Yeah.
And we traveled all across Western Canada, and we played it was funny. The week we played the Commodore, we were backing up Johnny Winter, and we were playing at the Balmoral Hotel, which is one of the sleaziest bars in Northern America, actually. The Balmoral Hotel on Main and Hastings.
Yeah,
right?
I know. I played there a couple times.
Yeah, so we played like Monday to Saturday, and we had this gig on the Friday night or something, the Thursday night or something. So we were playing the Balmoral, boom, over to the Commodore. We got our alligator shoes on, our beautiful, 4-piece suits on, and then back to the back to the Balmoral in the next night, you know.
What a culture shock, right?
Yeah, that was a great week.
That's wild. I didn't know you did all that with the Finns. That's amazing. You know, there must have been some cool road stories in that one too, right? I mean,
Oh, a book. There's a book right there. And the leader of that band was Dave Chisholm.
yes.
He was a smart guy, and we played like rock, blues, and beyond.
Right on.
The music we did was and I got a chance to do a lot of songwriting. I wrote a song called Backstreet Beat, and we made a 45 out of it.
Cool.
And I got my first publishing check with Backstreet Beat. It was something like $32. A check for $32 in the around Penticton and Kelowna area.
Yeah.
It was played out there
Right on.
for a little while, and I put the check on the wall, and then about a month later, being a broke musician, I
You
had
had to
to
cash it. I've done that too. You get that check and you go, "Oh, this is my first check," right?
Yeah. And with Backstreet Beat, we got. I forgot the name of the show, but we did a TV show, and we played that on some talk host show. Again, I can't remember what the talk host guy was. So that was it's a TV experience.
Yeah. That's really good.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then you led up to what else after you did, I know now you're playing with Tommy Stewart quite a bit and Donnie Underhill, right?
That's right. The two, the bass, Donnie Underhill, the bass player from
Trooper,
and the Tommy Stewart, the drummer from Trooper, the original guys that are on the album. So I'm playing with them in a band called Trauma.
Right on.
And also we play as a four-piece, and we bring in Dave Wills, who's the singer from a band called Stonebolt.
Oh, you got him? Oh, he's a great singer.
Really good singer, kind of that blue-eyed blues type singer.
Yeah, really good singer. Yeah, that's very cool.
Really sweetheart, man. Really.
I know. I hear he's a great guy. I mean, I'm friends with Brian Holden, and I don't know if you know Brian to see him. Brian used to be in Brian and the Liars, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and Brian just lives just down the street from you, actually, and Brian, great guy, great singer, great blues singer, right? Great guitar player too, and super nice guy. And he mentions that he's a super nice guy, and actually I think once a month, or every second month or two, Dave goes with Dave and Brian and Ham Steamer. Remember Ham Steamer?
Yes.
Yes, and a bunch of those guys all get together for a lunch. I don't know when they do it. Every 2 or 3 months, he says, and Brian says it's great. You sit down with all these really good singers and great musicians, that played over the years, Lindsay Mitchell and all these people, and they all meet up. Like they all go for like lunch and stuff, right?
Wow, cool.
Yeah. So they all hang out and reminisce and talk, right? So Brent Schindel and all those guys, right? So it's kind of interesting, right?
Yeah, the old school musicians get together once in a while. I've heard about that.
Yeah, and like those for you and me, those are like those are the standouts, for Vancouver at that time, right?
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah. So how often are you gigging with Trauma these days?
About 2 to sometimes 3 times a month. Right
on. So you're out there and you're still doing that, and are you still songwriting, Al? I imagine you are. You never stop doing that.
Yes, I know. I am right now, and I've got a handful of new songs that I'm recording with right now.
Oh, cool.
Down on Powell Street. It's kind of a one-room kind of studio, all computerized.
Oh, right on.
Yeah, and the engineer fellow that I'm working with, he's really quick, he's good, and he likes my songs. And so far, I'm just in the process of recording them right now. Cool.
That's good. So the creativity never stops with you, I imagine. You're constantly doing that. So what do you like? Do you like? Is it like me? Like I'm like at the point where I'd rather be in the studio more than I would actually like to play live. You know what I mean? I mean I like playing live. Don't get me wrong, but I really like being in the studio, the creative process more than the actual playing live. How about yourself?
Yes, I agree. That's the food that makes us true musicians.
Yeah.
I know players who play an instrument, and I said, well, have you written any songs? No. Well, the first time I picked up the guitar, I just started playing my own thing. playing someone else's song, I had to do that out of necessity, being in the cover band, which was great. I learned a lot doing that. But I've always enjoyed coming up with my own ideas and then chipping away at my ideas and honing them in and making them a little better.
Yeah.
And learning from learning other songs. You know, like in the cover bands, you know, got to learn this song, got to learn that song. And then you sort of take little pieces of learning those songs and you kind of apply them into writing your songs.
Right.
You know, I really like how the Beatles or the Stones or Zeppelin, how they do this, and I want to sort of do that in my song, but not outright do it, copy it, but apply it maybe in your own way. You can't hide it. And Keith Richards, he's the king of stealing a tune and doing it his own way.
Yeah.
I think any good musician is. Every musician, I don't want to say steal, but every good musician knows how to take another idea and go, I like that.
Yeah.
And twist it around in their own way.
Yeah, and I agree with you, and I think what's I going to say that a lot of times, today when I was in the studio with my guys, some of the guys in my band, actually when we finished, we were talking about like we're saying, like the Beatles, the Stones, you know, Led Zeppelin. One guy mentioned Deep Purple. It's amazing how people, especially back then, they could write different kinds of genres of music, you know, song. I mean, so you know, the Beatles might write, say, anywhere from Helter Skelter, and then 2 minutes later they're writing this really sweet pop ballad. You know what I mean? How they or take a song and kind of countrify it, you know, and it's or bluesy sort of like. So they stretch their, you know, their creativity, and I know that you and I sort of grew up that way too. And it's kind of funny how over the years, though, like, you know, especially the industry kind of pigeonholed everything. You know, you have to sound like this, you have to look like this. You know. Yes,
that's right. Now remember. Back in the mid-'60s, you know, Beatles became famous in '64.
Yeah.
Played the Ed Sullivan Show, and then came the Stones, and we forgot about the Who. You know, Pete Townshend's one of my favorite guitar guys.
Yeah, he's great.
Songwriter.
Yeah.
Now remember that back then, electronics and electric guitars was new.
Yeah.
So there was all this open field that hasn't been done yet. There hasn't been the Police yet. There hasn't been.
Yeah.
Yes, there hasn't been, you know, all these progressive, that hasn't come into the scene yet.
Yeah.
So they could, you know, see all this open field. And then as they chipped away at this open field, it slowly got, you know, cornered up and chipped away. All these other bands came in, the Police, and, you know, then all the bricks, as they say, got piled up, and now there's not a whole lot of room. Now it's become, you know, Britney Spears and all this really homogenized, you know, you don't even hear a guitar in pop music anymore.
No, you don't.
Oh, it's all keyboards and effects and the sounds and the vocal detuner and...
Yeah, I think what's happening is people are trying, what we were talking about that today, people are trying to blend the more robotic, you know, sounds with organic sounds, right? I think that's where it's sort of going. We were talking about that today. That I'm not saying people are, you know, really nailing it, but you know, yet. But I think that experimenting is going on. I kind of think that's kind of cool if you can blend the two together. I don't know what you're going to come up with, right? But I think people got the right idea. They're like you said earlier, people are starting to be able to be more creative. You know, like we were when we were young. First thing we did was start writing songs, right? You know, coming up with melodies.
And going back to when we were doing our duo, you and I, we had a lot of our own songs.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, were they great? I don't know, probably not. But
no.
At least we were excited about doing our songs.
Yeah. I know, and I mean that's the whole thing. Like you just sit there and realize that, you know, I really like this idea of, you know, being able to use my creative mind, right? You know, like I told that once to Mike Shiska's one of his sons was starting to play, and Mike's teaching him stuff, and Mike says, ask Joe about music too, right? And I said, well, how often do you play? Do you play every day? And he goes, yeah, a little bit. I says, do you write lyrics? And he goes, yeah. I says, so you should write lyrics every day. And he goes, if you're serious. And he says, really? I says, yeah, even if it's just garbage. Write it down. If something comes up and it sticks in your head, write it down in the morning, right? If it's in the morning or afternoon or in the evening, have a piece of paper beside you, write it down. Or if you got to get a couple chords you're banging out, write the chords down, record them, and then stick it away. I says, because it says, you'll get better and better at it, the more you do it, right? And
that's right. You just get better and better, and you know how to puzzle things together.
Yeah. And I think probably, I don't know how you feel about this, but I probably am better at what I do now than I did 20 years ago. You know what I mean?
Oh, of course.
Yeah, you know what I mean? It's just like, I just know I'm better at it. I just like, fuck, I know I'm better at, excuse my language, I know I'm better at what I'm doing, right? And I know you are too, because I've watched you play enough times to, see, where your niche is. You know what I mean? Like, I've really noticed that with you over the years. You know where you sit. You know where the pocket is and where you belong in your parts, right?
That's right.
Yeah, that's really good, because then you come across relating to people, right?
Yeah, getting to that, I've talked to a lot of fellow rub shoulders with all us old guys. I go, with a young kid today, I find it sad, because of society and the demographic of evolution of society. It's changed so much now.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Joe, when we were growing up, there was bars and nightclubs everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
Every bar and nightclub had bands.
Yeah.
And there was, at that time, like 4 levels of bands. You had your A circuit band, which was the big hairball band, and you had to be really good, and the sound man and the light man and all that 2-ton truck worth of, 5-ton truck worth of gear.
Yeah, yeah.
Then you had the B plus circuit, which was the classier big bars.
Yeah.
Then you had the B bars, which were more of a blue jean thing. Then you had your sort of B minus bars.
Yeah.
A little more blue jeans with a bit of dust on them. And then you had the C circuit, the really low end fleazy bars.
Yeah.
And you worked your way up the scene as you got better. But we played Monday to Saturday every week.
Yeah.
And you ended up playing in sort of different bands, and you played in a blues band, you played in a blues rock band. Well, now I'm in a rock band. Well, now I'm in a really hardcore blues band. Now I'm in a sort of a jazzier kind of a progressive blues band. But you played every week, so you got a chance to try things out, and you're playing all the time, and you're talking to other guys. How'd you get that sound? What pedal is that?
Mm-hmm.
What's this? What's that? And you understand about getting a nice 8x10 picture.
Yeah.
And you start talking to the agencies who are booking you. Guys, if you want to play this room, you got to do this. You can't walk in with blue jeans and runners. You got to have some nice, looking shoes, boots, a nice hairdo. You got to look the part. I can't book you guys in here.
Yeah. Yeah. That's so true.
But the kids today, where do they play? Where I'm playing, I used to start off at 10 o'clock till 2. Remember, we played the nightclubs. And you start at 10 o'clock on 10. Nobody told you to turn down.
Yeah.
Now we're starting at, 8, 8:30, playing in the neighborhood pubs with a bunch of people who are 50 to 70.
Yeah.
They're having their dinner, so you got to start off nice and quiet. Brown-eyed girl.
Yeah.
And by me. And, slowly work your way up, and then by 11:30, the place thins out because people are going home.
Mm-hmm.
There's nowhere to play, and now there's only Friday to Saturday.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the kids, how do you get good on your instrument just practicing?
You don't.
What ends up happening is bands will practice, but there's nobody in that group saying, you've been playing that part wrong for 3 years now.
Yeah.
But everybody in that band is going, oh, nobody's saying anything about me playing this part wrong.
Yeah.
Oh, well, that's the way I do it. Let's just drink some beer and get drunk, and that's how we do it. Ho, 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 ho.
Yeah.
Okay, but you're not getting better.
No, you're not getting better. And it's tough. It's even like, you're right, because even with my 2 bands I got, it takes longer to get better and get the show to where, if it's live, to where you want it. And so, I had that, we played last night, we played the Roxy last night, and, we played for 40 minutes. So, I basically used the Roxy to, basically tighten the band up. There's no other way to do it, right? Because, and the drummer, Mark, said, oh, we got to get this tight, and this tight. It was a little loose here last night on this part and that part, this intro. And I looked at him, I says, yeah, I know. Because you know why? He says, why? He says, because we haven't played these parts live before. And he goes, That's right. I says, so the only place we're going to get them tight is playing them live.
Yeah.
I says, because we only rehearse for like 3 hours every, twice a week. I says, and if we're lucky, because we can't make money off your music anymore as much, you have to work. Like, people have to have a job. And I got told that by I just did an interview before you with a friend of mine who owns a record label in the south of France. And he's a German musician. He's really, really good. You like him. Nice guy. And he was saying to me, the same thing is over there. There's a few more places to play over there, but not much more. And he says the problem is you don't make as much money as you used to.
No. So you got to get a day job, and then life comes into play, and you don't have the time that you did when you were 20 years old.
Yeah, and you don't have the time to put into the actual playing. So young people who are playing, they don't actually have the time because they can't make money at it.
No.
So
they'll play the odd gig at a friend's house party, a Christmas party, Halloween party.
Yeah.
They'll do a night here and there.
Yeah.
But again, there's nobody at those parties. Like, their friends will always say, "Wow, you guys are great. You guys are great. You guys are great." But if you and I went and saw that same band play, we would say, "Wow, do you guys need a lot of work?"
Yeah.
I mean, these kids, they don't know what good and bad is because they don't know music the way we do.
Yeah.
So we would say, "Boy, you guys really need a lot of work."
Yeah, you need a lot of work. You need to get it to.
And you're too shy. You don't know how to. They don't have the hours spending on how to talk to a crowd. That in itself is an art.
Yeah.
Fronting is an art. How to, focus on front house, how to talk.
Yeah.
If something's going south on one side of the stage on a band, how to take the people's attention somewhere else and let that band. Okay, you guys figure this out. I'll take the crowd over here.
Yeah.
You guys figure that out, and when you're ready to go, we'll go back to it. There's all kinds of audibles and things you can do.
That's right.
That's right. Get stumped. Where these young kids, they'll make a mistake on stage, and they don't have those hours. They all get spooked, Oh.
Yeah.
Guys like you and I will go, oh, yeah, okay, it's a simple mistake. Just plow through it, and we'll continue on.
Yeah.
Nobody knows nothing.
Yeah, I know. I was telling somebody once I saw Paul McCartney in the Kingdom in Seattle way back when, and he was doing Band on the Run, and he extended the chorus. He added an extra chorus on top of the chorus, right? And then when he went to come out and go to the verse, he kept singing the chorus and the band changed. And
even the pros can do it. You just get carried away. You just, your mind is in the
and everybody in the band was laughing at him, right? And he just put his hands up and said, "Oops," right?
Yeah, but he's earned the right to kind of do that and laugh about it. Oh well.
Yeah.
He's human.
Yeah, it's interesting. So
that guy's got a million lyrics in his head.
Yeah.
A million chords, a million songs. How he remembers them all, I don't know.
Yeah. And then he's up there for like 3 hours.
Oh, I know, and he can play for probably another 3.
I know. I just saw him last year, and in fact, this is how funny this is. He played for 3.5 hours, and I'm serious, 3.5 hours, and people were tired and wanted to go home. Not because they didn't like it. People were burning out. And he kept going, and then the encores came. He did 4 encores. So basically it's almost 4 hours. And I'm just sitting there going I can't believe this. People are going, no more. Not because they don't love it. They're just going, I can't take it. There's just
work in the day, and they got up early. They did their day job. They went home and dealt with the kids, had dinner. They're playing, by 9, 10 o'clock, they're burnt out, ready for bed. But now it's 11, and they're still on 10. They're just physically tired.
Yeah, I know. It's unreal. It's just unreal. So you're...
you're not going to find a much more talented guy than Paul McCartney.
No, you're not. You're not. That's for sure. So now you're in the studio recording, and what are you going to do with your material? You're going to release it, or what are you going to be doing? Or
well, interesting you asked. I'm not recording it to be like a star. That's not going to happen. Yeah. I'm recording it in a sense of publishing it, and hopefully some other young artist who's signed will pick it up.
Yeah.
And hopefully they can make something out of it.
Yeah, that's good.
So, you know what? It is changing my view of writing the song.
Oh, I bet.
I want to leave. I'm writing the song now, and I'm kind of always trying to remember, I want someone else to listen to this and go, I would like to do this song.
Yeah.
So if I write it in a way where I think it's me, like if I was signed and I was, 20 years younger, and I go, okay, now I want this, I want that, and put a stamp on it, yeah, that's an Elio song right there.
Yeah.
But I'm leaving certain things out, and I'm kind of doing it in a way, and it's new for me to write like this, so it's kind of exciting to write in a way where I want to hook someone else into liking the song, and where they go, I like the song, I want to do it.
Yeah, that's
or
good.
Where a manager would hear it and take it to the person he's representing,
Mm-hmm.
and go, hey, you need this song.
Yeah, yeah. That's good. That's
So
good.
I'm kind of writing it in a way where I'm leaving some open field in there, so they have a chance to add their thing to it.
Right. And it's all just so you're leaving interpretation open for other people.
Exactly. Yeah. So a blues guy, a world beat person, someone overseas, can hear it and go, wow, I want to do this.
That's a good. That's
I could do this song. Yeah.
Yeah, it's good. I know.
Fellow could, or if somebody from Mexico who's a rising star.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm writing a song right now. It's called Sambalina.
Oh, cool.
And people hear it for the first time, or they're up and dancing, and I'm like, wow, you've never heard this song before, but because it just has this world beat type of groove to it.
Right.
And it just feels good. And I thought, wow, this song is just people just like the song. It's simple enough for everybody kind of likes it. And we've been playing it live, and it goes over really great.
That's good. That's really good.
I just got to chip away on the lyrics, though. The instruments are all there, just the lyrics. And
you're just crafting the lyrics. Yeah, I hear you. Well, that's great, Al. I'm going to wrap this up and wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year if I don't see you
too,
before.
My friend, and, always great playing with you, and I, always look forward to playing with you. We're pros. We get together and we talk about all the mistakes the young kids are making. It's just too bad that the young kids growing up today don't have what we did. And getting back to me saying about all these different levels of bars, I was playing bass in these in the higher end type bands.
Yeah.
I wanted to play guitar.
Yeah.
And so I switched to playing guitar. But I did it in a way where I wanted to play somewhere where none of my friends would see me, because I wasn't that good on guitar.
Right.
So I got an acoustic guitar, and that's where I went. I went looking around Vancouver, and I went to Skid Row. Because if there's a place where none of my friends go, and I could just, play under the radar and kind of cut my teeth and just sort of learn how to sing and get my chords together, my strumming without breaking time, And so I went down there, and there was a fellow, Paul Dakota, from the Balmoral Hotel. And I was the first live guy to play there, and then he said, can you bring in a band? And I said, yeah. So then I hired two other guys who, Dave Payne.
Yeah.
And I got on a drummer, Redzy, and these are guys who weren't in the circuit so much back then. And again, I wanted to hire people that would not know that I was playing the Balmoral.
Yeah.
So there'd be in a month I'd have an open week, and then I'd phone the guy at the Balmoral and say, hey, I got an open week here from playing, the A rooms on bass, and then I would slide in and play on the guitar, and eventually through the late 80s and early 90s is when I switched over to playing guitar.
Wow.
I cut my teeth playing those rooms.
That's ever smart.
And on guitar and singing and getting that end of it going on, and playing bass and guitar has really helped me write songs.
Right, yeah.
And playing the flute and playing other instruments, that you kind of learn as a songwriter when and what sounds would be appropriate for certain parts of a song. Right
on. See, that's the way you do it, and then when you have young people hear this, I'm sure there will be, and then when they do, they'll get some ideas from that and be inspired to do that. You know what I mean? Like, it's a smart move, and you're right about that, because people, if you know your instruments and you learn your instruments, you can write a better song.
Yeah, you can put the better colored parts together.
Yeah, that is so true. That's so true. All right, Al, I'll let you go. And it's been
thanks a lot. It was inspiring, and I hope we had something to tell the younger musicians to look forward to. And
and when are you gigging with Trauma?
As many gigs as you can.
Yeah, when are you gigging with Trauma again? When's the next time you're doing the gig with Trauma?
Next week. weekend.
Oh, yeah.
Where are we now? No. We're playing Brewster's at New Year's.
Oh, cool.
It's a bar in Surrey.
Right on. All right.
Yep.
All right. So if you're out that way...
Yeah, so Happy New Year to you and Merry Christmas to you, Joe. Love you and take care. Say hi to your mom for me.
I will, and I'll talk to you soon.
Okay.
Take care, Al. Bye now.
Bye now.
So, that was talking to my friend Elio Martelli. Really good musician. I've been playing a very long time, but a great musician. Great songwriter. Lots of fun. And, yeah. I'm going to see if we can get Elio to send some songs to me so we can play some of his songs that you can hear on the show. So this is Izzy Dakota Jones. And this is the Art of Doing podcast. Thanks. Take care. Thanks for listening.